Hi everybody, this is Rick from Studio Spades, and today I'm going to give you a free tutorial on how to make a hologram shader in Blender. You don't need any plugins for this, it's just vanilla Blender. So yeah, let's get into it and show you how to make your own holograms. First of all, I'm going to start off with a shape which we're going to turn into a hologram. In this case, I'm going to use the Suzanne monkey and add a subdivision surface to it. Subdivide it twice so we have a nicer mesh to work with. But this is not necessary. You can make this on any object, of course. Also, I'm gonna shade smooth because I like the look of it, but it's also not necessary. What is necessary though is to create a new shader. So select the object and add new shader. And yeah, let's dive into it. Now, what makes something a hologram? It emits light, and it appears, at least partially so, see-through. And in order to get the see-through effect, we can use a layer weight node. So let's add a layer weight and plug facing into the alpha of the shader. Now, this already creates an effect, and when we start sliding blend, you can see it disappear or become a bit more pronounced. You can already see some see-through elements here. You can see the air, even though it's behind the skull of the Suzanne. Now what facing does, it makes the polygons that are facing toward the camera see-through, and everything that's pointed away from the camera, it makes opaque. Now 0.5 is a pretty good setting, because we can always tweak this further on. Now I want the see-through effect to become a bit stronger, so we can use a color ramp for that. So search for ramp, add a color ramp, and this way you can clamp the effect. So anything that's black or see-through gets stronger. You can create a really thin outline as well, if you want. Or maybe add a stop to it and create a outline within the mesh. That's also possible. You can get really creative with this. Create some unique hologram visuals this way. But I'm just going to reset the color ramp and clamp the black a bit, maybe white a bit too. So we have a bit more see-through effect, and you can still see the air here. Pretty cool. And it's already starting to look a bit hologrammy, if that's a word. But we're not there yet. Now, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you don't want to make this shader yourself, keep in mind that this technique is also used in my X-Ray and Hologram Shader. It's a pack with 10 legacy presets and one master material that's yeah, very easy to use, and you can get it on the Superhive market, for example. And it's a quite popular product with over 200 sales, nearly 300. So definitely check that out if you don't want to make it yourself and want access to a lot more layers than the one I'm showing you today. All right, so looks kind of cool, but we're not there yet. Like I said, we need a see-through element and it needs to emit light. So under emission, we can set the emission to 10, for example. And the opaque parts start to emit light, as you can see. And you can tweak the color, of course. And you get some hologram looks that way. Pretty cool. But another thing that can really add some life to this hologram is scan lines. These are, yeah, those bars that you might see on lower quality old school screens. And these scan lines can really add that retro futuristic look to an image, especially holograms. So yeah, let's continue with that. Now, in order to easily create scan lines, we can use a brick texture. It's something that comes with the Blender shader editor. So just search for brick and add a brick texture. And we can you can add the color into the color here, and you can see a brick texture show up on your mesh. Now let's tweak the visibility a bit so it becomes a bit more clear to see. As you can see, some bricks appear, but some bricks are slightly darker than others, and I want every brick to be uniform. So let's change the color 1 and color 2 to pure white, so that every brick is pure white. And also turn down frequency to 1, so that there's no asymmetrical bricks. They're all aligned perfectly in a grid, as you can see here from the top and the side. Pretty cool. We got some lines in there, but it's not really looking like scan lines. That's because we have a big amount of bricks, both horizontally and vertically. But when we change the brick width to something ridiculous like 1,000, you can see it starts to look like scan lines a bit, only they are vertical. Now we can, of course, rotate this set of lines. So in order to do that, we need to tweak the vector. So add a texture coordinate, plug generated into the vector, and then use a vector rotate to rotate it. So set the type to Euler in this case, and you can 90 degrees rotate the x-axis, this axis here. And when you flip it 90 degrees, it becomes a horizontal set of lines. Pretty cool. And we can, of course, smooth the mortar. And the mortar in this case are the black lines. So you can smooth it a bit or make it really harsh, and the lines become a bit more pronounced. So set smooth to 0, and the effect is more noticeable. Tweak the scale, of course, so we get more lines in there. Set it to 10 maybe, and we can tweak the row height as well, which kind of does the same thing. So yeah, we got some nice scan lines in there. Looks pretty cool. But now the image is black and white again, or white. And I would like to have it colored. So add an RGB node and a mix color. Set the mix color to color. So anything that's put in will colorize it. So set it to blue. Plug it in there and slide effect all the way up to 1, so that the effect is 100% colorized. And we have a bluish hologram right now. Maybe make it a bit lighter. Pretty cool. And we can clamp the visibility again. This is already starting to look pretty cool. Now, another neat trick to make your holograms more realistic is to add some fog or volume around it, so that the light, the emission, it becomes more noticeable. So we can add a cube around the entire mesh, scale it up a bit, and add a material to the cube as well. But we don't need a principled BSDF. We need a volume. So principled volume, search for that, delete the BSDF, plug in the volume. And right now it's pretty dense, so set the density to maybe 0.1. We can already see it show up, maybe 0.01. And slide this factor up to maybe 0.95. And when we zoom in, you can faintly see this glow around the hologram already. Maybe if we turn up the emission to 50, see, this effect becomes a bit stronger. Go into the cycles renderer and maybe turn up the samples a bit so that the noise disappears. maybe set 0.1. And let's tweak the volume a bit more, maybe 0.05. So you can see this glow appear around it, which, yeah, can look pretty cool. Maybe turn on scene lights and scene world so that the HDRI that comes with Blender is turned off. And we've got this nice glow around it, which looks pretty solid. This will, of course, increase your render time because volumes can be quite resource intensive. Now, like I said, if you don't feel like making the shader on your own, you can always get a nice shortcut and buy my X-Ray and Hologram Shader. It's available on Superhive Market, for example. And it's a very complex shader that's very easy to control. It consists of multiple layers you can just enable and disable. So here we have the stripes layer, for example, which is yeah, basically something I just demonstrated. But it consists of a lot of layers that you can check and uncheck to enable, and yeah, create your own variations of holograms really quickly. You don't need to dive in the shader editor here. You can just ignore it basically and control everything from the settings on the right here and have it animate over time as well. So yeah, if you don't feel like making it yourself and get access to a really awesome product that's almost sold 300 times by now on Superhive Market, head on over there and check out the X-Ray and Hologram Shader Pack, which comes with not only the master material, but also 10 legacy presets that have been made with an older version of the shader. And it's a yeah, awesome product that a lot of people seem to enjoy. So I hope you do too. This was Rick from Studio Spades. Hope to see you next time, and take care.